Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Linetta, and I am not a content creator. What I am is a Generation Xer, which means we learned how to work. A lot of us were not encouraged to go after our dreams, fulfill some desire. Some of us were, but when I told my father that I wanted to be a writer, he was terrified that I wouldn't be able to pay my bills, that it was a foolish notion, and that I should make sure that I was relying on something that was dependable. And that was around my 20s, when I was a teacher, and I was kind of thinking about pursuing my lifelong dream of being a writer. And it's something about those milestones in your years that makes you kind of reevaluate your life. So at 30, I felt like a grown up finally, and that I can make choices for myself. So in my 30s, I got married, I had a child, I got divorced, and learned about being a single mom. I also got my master's degree during that time, and a little bit here and there. I started doing things to promote myself as a writer. In my 30s, I wrote 3 plays, each based on starting with an idea from my starting from my ideas for my poetry. I'm kind of stuttering a little bit because also in my 30s, at the very start of my 30s, is when I lost my father. So that was a huge transition too. At 29, he was 49, and we were planning my Dirty 30 and his Nifty 50. And then he passed a few months after that before we could even make it to that mark. And so now, as a 50-year-old, I turned 50 this year. There was some trepidation about approaching 50. Like, will I make it? Will I leave my daughter how my father left me, so to speak? And what does that mean? So being 49, trying to get to 50 really meant just kind of buckling down in my health, making sure that I was healthy, making sure I followed through on whatever it is that my doctor was recommending. So making sure that I was well physically, but also really making sure that I was well mentally. A few years ago, at a very low point, I started therapy. And it really helped me challenge a lot of the limiting beliefs that I had developed as a result of childhood trauma. And so now that I'm 50 and I'm healthy, both physically and mentally, there is another urge that I have. And I'm not really one of those, January 1st or this next year is going to be my year type of thing. But I will admit that each year brings a challenge for me to really lean into who it is that I think I am, who it is that I think I'm supposed to be. So this year, or this December, I have the great opportunity through my job as a facilitator, evaluator, and consultant in this learning community that I work for to really have some time off. I had 3 weeks off at the begin and then into the start of 2025. And so I've been using this time to really think about my next step. What is it that I want to do? And I remembered that my 6th grade teacher charged us to write an autobiography in 6th grade. And in my autobiography, I said that I wanted to write poetry and share it with the world. Well, I've done that, so to speak, but I want more. And while I spent many years as a teacher, what's behind me is just some of the books that I used in my teaching career. And those are just like kind of how to be your best teacher, so to speak. And my being a teacher was great. I had a lot of really great results, built some really beautiful relationships with my students, who many of them I refer to as my kids even now, that I'm in relationship with even now. But there was always something calling over here, and not a something because I knew what the something was. It is my dream to be a writer, and not just to be a writer, but really be able to have a career as a writer. I wake up every morning to write, and then when I go to bed at night, I have ideas on how to continue in that writing and how to be better at it. So kind of going against the grain of what I normally do, but 2025, I am right now setting myself up to make sure that I can live into my dream and get closer and be closer into my dream as a writer for 2025, or starting 2025. So it's important to know that that's going to be pretty hard, because on my day-to-day life, again, as a consultant or working for a consulting firm, doing facilitation and evaluation, that's a lot of work. And I enjoy it. I love it. Build relationships with people, challenge people, teach people new things, create conversations for people to have, evaluate programs to bring them in alignment with liberatory practices. Fantastic. Like, I love it. But I also equally love being a writer. Well, is that true? I don't necessarily love writing. It's sort of like something that you know to do, like naturally. It's your love, it's your passion. And so that's a part of me that has been laying dormant for quite a while. And I know why it's been dormant. I'm a single mom of a now 17-year-old who is preparing to go to college. And I'm not blaming her or blaming parenting for me putting my dreams on the back burner, but the dreams are back there on the back burner because being a parent was more important. And then making sure that she arrived at a place where she can fully implement her dreams was a priority and also really important. And so I did that as well as a teacher. I did that as a parent. And so now, 50 with a 17-year-old, was about to go off to college in a fantastic job that provides me with rest and also with amazing pay and time. And so there's a lot of time for me to sit and think about, well, what is it that Linetta wants to do? And to be honest, that's kind of scary. Like, what is it that Linetta wants to do? Who is Linetta after all? And if I say that I'm a writer, then what am I writing? And so the challenge is there. And that's the scary part, to say I'm a writer. I can say I'm a teacher. Yep, do that all day. Was a teacher for 15 plus years in the city of Milwaukee. I'm a parent. Yep. I've been a parent to my kid all her life, and I've been parent and mom to a lot of other young adults here in the city. But to say that I'm a writer is scary. I have written 3 plays. I've written many other things. But how do I get to the point where I can say fully that I'm a writer and not like try to tuck it behind other things? That's the thing that I realized that I was doing. I'm a teacher, but I write a little bit too. Well, I'm a parent, but I also write about this. How do I get to the point where, hi, I'm Linetta and I'm a writer. And this is what I do in my day-to-day as a writer. Ideally, if down the line, that's what these posts or these sharings will be about, me talking to you about my day in the life as a writer. But right now, it's how do I, as a 50-year-old single parent, juggle life and also make room for my dreams, and not just make like a little room, again, like I'm tucking it behind a thing. Oh, my dogs. But where I am fully living out this dream of writing. So I've made some, I've watched, I don't know, it's Vlogmas, right? And I've watched so many videos of getting ready for 2025, how to be a content creator, making goals for 2025, making a vision board, all of those things. Set systems, not goals, all great videos, and I appreciate them. But ultimately, what I know as a teacher is you know a thing, but then you have to apply a thing. And so how do I apply what I know, what I've learned from watching various videos? How do I apply it? And so this is my first test at application. Turn on the camera, point it towards me, and hit record. And it's terrifying. But again, I hope that one day this video will be an inspiration to someone to do the same thing. Again, just thinking about how when I grew up, the goal was to get a job, find a job. I don't know if it mattered if you liked it or not, but get a job and work there all your life and then retire. That worked, and it still does work. But another thing that we didn't really get to talk about that much growing up was like what makes you happy. And so this is not quite a manifesto, if you will. I feel like that word has kind of gotten a negative connotation of sorts recently. But this is me stepping out on faith. This is me trying a thing on. This is me not becoming so rigid in my practice. It's like, oh, I'm a Gen Xer, and that's not what we do. One of the things that I really loved about being a teacher was the opportunity to really learn from my students. And just a few minutes ago, an hour ago, I watched a video of a young person who was like, this is how you become a content creator. You turn on your camera, you press video record, and then you start talking about your life. And if I do post this, actually, I'll make sure that I tag that video and that content creator in the description, as I've heard people say. And so, again, this is me taking that chance. And yes, I have created my list of my goals for the year. I've even created a 3-year strategic plan for myself. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to check in here with you all and see what that is. This is also me just trying to see if I apply these very simple but inspiring and encouraging practices. Can I get more subscribers? Is this how you get monetized? Again, I don't want to be in a place where my father was when he said to me, oh no, you can't do that. You need to have this, you need to have that. I believe in my word for 2025, my intention that I'm going to set for 2025 is risk. Take risk. Last year, my intention was find the joy, and I found it in so many different ways and in so many different places. And I'm hoping that I can use this as an opportunity again to take risks. I always thought it was kind of strange, just kind of, to be honest, with my Gen X brain and my Gen X experience, to just look in the phone and talk. But I understand now, because I've connected with so many people just watching their videos, that maybe it's time for me to share my video, to share my story, to share my experience. What is a day in the life of a person who does all of these things and still finds the joy? Still has what I used to say, butter in my joints. That's this idea that I have of not becoming rigid, just being flexible, learning new things, being willing to learn new things, and not just become so rigid in my practices as I get older. I don't really agree that getting older means that you have to stop and be so constricted in your practices or in your day-to-day life. So this is me with my 3-year strategic plan for my life, with my 2025 goals. I haven't done my vision board yet, but also this is me with my intention for 2025, taking risk. I'm hoping to post every day to give you all updates. 2 important things, if you are interested, if you're still here listening to me, that I'm gonna definitely be posting about. I've written my first full novel. Right now it's going to be called Going Back to Fetch It. And it's currently with a very supportive organization here in Milwaukee. And they are acting as my beta readers. I'm super excited about that. Using my my memoir that I wrote after the passing of my father, entitled Honey and Vinegar, I've created a grief companion journal. I have a couple beta readers right now checking that out. I don't want it to be harmful. I want it to be a beautiful process. And it's a 40-day companion journal. No way are you going to be over, or your grief is going to be resolved in 40 days, but it's a start. It's just something to keep coming back to. This morning, I'm using one of my plays. I used to love them, a romantic comedy, to write a breakup journal, which I think that'll be fun too. And then the other thing is, a really dear person to me has a poetry set here in Milwaukee. And even though I have not written a poem in years, I was asked to be a featured poet in February, and I said yes. And so that means that a part of my morning writing routine will be to get up and to write, so that I can have something to share in February. I'm also wanting to fall back in love with poetry. I don't want to keep saying like this love-hate relationship with poetry, but I've fallen out of love with it for whatever reason. But that used to really, really be my thing. So what I'm looking forward to in this getting up in the morning and writing, I want to, instead of like officially having like a published, thing, I want to go back to just having a chapbook. So on my feature, February 24th, for Lineman's Poets Monday, my goal is, no, I'm not gonna say it like that. I will have a chapbook there to share with folks who, want to check it out, want to see what I have, what I'm on right now. And it's kind of scary because I feel like I know for sure that my writing has evolved. Not so much the rhythmic flow, because my life is not rhythmic right now, but I'm super excited to just see what I can produce in that regard. And so that's my journey. That's how I'm entering 2025, by taking risks, by putting myself out there, by proclaiming myself as a writer, by proclaiming myself as a content creator who talks about their writing journey and about juggling life and dreams and becoming all that you want to be. And so I hope this is a journey that you will join me on. Not even saying like I have answers or advice, but if you join me, I really appreciate that. I would love to hear what is your intention for 2025. What dream that you are bringing to life in this coming year and beyond. I would love to hear it. And if you'd like to hear more, please subscribe to my channel, and then also, do that thing. I think notification bell, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to work super hard to make sure that I'm coming in, sharing in, checking in with you every day. All right, let's do it. Let's have a great 2025, the rest of 2024. Happy New Year, and wishing you all the best.